Hello my freaky darlings. Welcome back. This week I'm investigating the Genesee River Killer, also known as the Monster of the Rivers, the Genesee River Strangler, and Arthur Shawcross. Arthur was not just a monster in mentality and actions, but also in size. How can I put this? He was one big fucker, coming in at 300 pounds or just over 136 kilograms and 6 feet tall. So, can you imagine that brute coming for you? Anyway, so Arthur started out in 1968 as a bit of a pyromaniac and served 2 years of a 5-year sentence for arson. After that, things went a little bit south, and Arthur got in touch with his inner psycho and paedophile. On the 7th of May 1972, Arthur raped and killed his first known victim, 10-year-old Jack Owen Blake. After luring the boy into a wooded area in Watertown, Jack's body was not found until authorities received a tip by telephone on the 5th of September. On the 2nd of September, just prior to Jack's body being discovered, Arthur raped and killed 8-year-old Karen Hill, who had been visiting Watertown with her mother for the Labor Day weekend. He was arrested the next day. Apparently, Arthur was seen by neighbors with Karen near a bridge shortly before her death. A grand jury indicted Arthur for murdering Karen's death on the 17th of October 1972. He was allowed to plead guilty to a lesser charge of first-degree manslaughter for both deaths, and was sentenced to an indeterminate term with a maximum of 25 years at Attica Correctional Facility. In November, he was transferred to Greenhaven Correctional Facility. Jefferson County District Attorney William McCluskey explained the plea bargain by stating that other than Arthur's confession to the cops, there was no direct evidence linking him to Jack's murder. McCluskey also suggested that Arthur could have argued at trial that he was under extreme emotional disturbance, whatever the fuck that's supposed to mean. But anyway, I guess the extreme emotional disturbance that he caused both families of those tiny little kids was neither here nor there. Anyway, they also said that a jury would have been likely to arrive at a verdict of manslaughter anyway. Yeah. Anyway, after 14 years of imprisonment, inexperienced prison staff and social workers, it was concluded that Arthur was no longer dangerous, disregarding the warnings of psychiatrists who had assessed him as a schizoid psychopath. He was released on parole in April 1987. After relocating due to the public's outcry of his release, he moved to Rochester with his fourth wife. In March 1988, Arthur started killing again. This time he at least moved on from killing and raping little kids to sex workers. He was convicted of 11 murders. The 12th was not officially ascribed to him. Now, the murders are as follows. Dorothy Dotsie Blackburn, who was 27, who disappeared on the 18th of March 1988. Her body was discovered in March 1988, on the 24th of March 1988. Anne Marie Steffen, who was 28, she disappeared on the 9th of July 1988 and was discovered on the 11th of September 1988. Dorothy Keeler, who was 59, looks like she was the oldest of his victims, who disappeared on the 29th of July and was discovered on the 21st of October 1989. Patricia Patty Ives, who was 25, who disappeared on the 29th of September 1989 and was discovered on the 27th of October 1989. June Stott, who was 30, who disappeared on the 23rd of October 1989 and was discovered on the 23rd of November 1989. Marie Welch, 22, disappeared on the 5th of November and was discovered on the 5th of January 1990. Then there was Frances Franny Brown, who was 22, who disappeared on the 11th of November 1989 and was discovered on the 15th of November 1989, so quite a bit after Marie Welch. And then there was Kimberly Logan, who was 30. Fuck, he really killed a lot of people in November. And then she went missing on the 15th of November 1989 and was discovered the same day, also on the 15th of November. So it looks like Kimberly and Frances were discovered on the same day. And then there was Elizabeth Gibson, who also disappeared in November, on the 25th of November 1989 and discovered on the 27th of November. And then Darlene Trippi, who was 32, went missing on the 15th of December and then was found on the 5th of January 1990. And then June Cicero, who was 33, who went missing on the 17th of December 1989 and was discovered on the 3rd of January 1990. And then the last one was Felicia Stevens, who was 20, went missing on the 28th of December 1989 and then was found on the 31st of December 1989. So there's a decent turnaround with all those victims from the looks of it. Anyway, so all the victims were murdered in Monroe County except for Elizabeth Gibson, who was killed in neighboring Wayne County. Retired Detective Robert Keppel argued that the detectives investigating the case over-relied on the concept of modus operandi, at times searching for multiple suspects due to small differences in the profiles of each victim. On the 5th of January 1990, 2 days after June Cicero's body was discovered by aerial surveillance, police arrested Arthur. He had been spotted by an eyewitness and a police surveillance team standing near his car, apparently urinating over a bridge over Salmon Creek, near where June Cicero's body had been dumped. In November 1990, Arthur was tried by the Monroe County Assistant District Attorney Charles J. Saraguso for the 10 murders in Monroe County. He pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity. Forensic psychiatrist Dorothy Lewis testified that he had brain damage, multiple personality disorder, now known as dissociative identity disorder, and post-traumatic stress disorder, and had been sexually abused as a child. His shrink also claimed that Arthur moved into a separate internal personality named Bessie when he killed, arguing that he should be institutionalized rather than being returned to the prison system. In response to the defense's claim that Arthur's actions were the product of post-traumatic stress disorder resulting from his war service, FBI criminal profiler Robert K. Ressler basically said that Arthur's claim of having witnessed wartime atrocities being a reason for his killing kids and sex workers was total crap. Oh shit. The prosecution psychiatrist Dr. Park Dietz testified that Arthur had antisocial personality disorder, and it was later determined that Arthur had a cyst pressing on the temporal lobe of his brain, as well as scarring on his frontal lobes, that are responsible for decision-making and self-control. Arthur was held at the Sullivan Correctional Facility in Fallsburg, New York, where he was held until his death. In 2003, Arthur was interviewed by British reporter Catherine English for a documentary on cannibalism. He bragged about slicing out and eating the vulva of 3 of his victims. Yeah. But refused to discuss his earlier claim of eating the genitals of his first victim, Jack Blake. Yeah, he really was one sick fucker. Yeah. Anyway, on the 10th of November 2008, Arthur complained of a pain in his leg. He was taken to Albany Medical Center, where he went into cardiac arrest and died shortly thereafter. He was pronounced dead at 9:50 p.m. Arthur was 63 years old. Now, is it wrong And I kind of wish he had had a more brutal end. Yeah, I kind of think Karma was robbed of that one. She really didn't get her proper due. My revenge-seeking, karma-loving, brutal inner bitch wishes he had had a massive beatdown in a prison yard, you know, and left paraplegic with internal hemorrhaging, and just a lot messier than having a heart attack and, you know, dying peacefully. What do you think? Did Karma get her due on that one? Did he get his just desserts? Now, that's it for this week. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and share it with people who are also fascinated by some weird shit like serial killers, ghosts, and urban legends, and things that go bump in the night. Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and if you see a massive guy like Arthur coming along a deserted riverbank towards you, with a crazy look in his eye, maybe run for your life. Just in case. You never know. Anyway, bye.